ABSL Summit. Transform to thrive.
So let's start. I don't know if we put any fire at this time, but first of all, we will for sure we will share our experiences and our common experience, which lasts few days, I would say.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, but in terms of the question, if mental health is a new business currency, I know the answer. For me, yes. But before we answer together, I would love to ask Robert, because he represents extremely innovative tool on the market. If you think about I will try to put your attention at this one of the last sessions for today. So think about that the medical world, the healthcare system is not focused on the healthcare, to be honest. In my opinion, after a few days spent with Robert, it's focused on the sick care. But Robert brings to the table the solution when we can really take care of the health care. Do you believe that you can change the future mental health direction, the health direction, into real health care?
First, I have a question, because we will talk a little bit about medicine, and I'm absolutely aware that you are speaking English, but some words could be difficult for you. I want you to understand the whole, information. So if you want us to talk in Polish to better understanding, or stay in English, it's up to you. English.
We have the English representative, so we
Okay.
will follow in English.
Can we start the presentation? Okay.
How do
so-
you find mental health? I see the data, so it
Okay,
will be
so-
important if you just take us through them. So mental health versus other factors which can influence our mental health, but also the health.
Okay, so
the
I'm
lifespan.
absolutely aware that mental health is going to be one of the biggest challenge of healthcare system, not only in Poland, but everywhere in the world. And it's going to be bigger and bigger problem. And it's not a new problem, because as you see, 20 years ago, in a very, very good magazine, Lancet, they published the article and put the psychosocial problems among other problems with health. Let me call it this civilization diseases, like obesity, diabetes, hypertension, current smoking, and problems with cholesterol. So as you see, 20 years ago, scientists said, okay, this is a big problem, but even now it's even bigger because of COVID and post-COVID time. And as we know that more than 60% of adult Polish citizens say that they have problems with mental health and some signs of depression, more than 60% now. So it's going to be a really big problem.
Super, but you know how you describe the mental health issues, how to find them, how to recognize them. If I think about my leadership team, the leadership group in BAT, I can recognize because we have the systematic approach. And we use different programs for that. But we know that mental health is a new business currency. We discuss it. If I think about the market and I'm talking to my partners, very often we are using mental health as I would say, pop-up webinars, pop-up events during the year, not a systematic approach. So to understand and be there, how could you define all those elements which could show off as a mental health issues?
Okay, it's as a doctor.
As a doctor.
So the first problem I see is not that we are really afraid of the future, and the biggest problem is not multitasking and not the problems we have in our families or at job, but the biggest problem with mental health we see is that if we see somebody sick, influenza, pneumonia, broken arm, we can see it and help these people. With mental health problems, we can't see it for years. They are sitting at home and it's growing in silence. This is the biggest problem. So if you're asking me how we can check it, we can't. Actually, we can't. But we have some, because, thinking about health problems, first we all thinking about problems with stress. Stress is killing us. It's a silent killer. And we have some devices to check it and to help people with small steps but big impact. And I will show you soon how it is now evolving and how medicine is evolving to the new kind of medicine. And as you said before, we are now talking about healthcare, not the seeker. We are not waiting for some kind of sickness. We are waiting for just catching people healthy and trying them to stay healthy for years. So this is the modern new medicine, and it should be more and more known all over the world. And I will show you a little bit what else we have in here. Okay, so to understand, I won't tell you what is exactly in here, but to understand, first we have to understand ourselves. It is in Polish, I'm sorry for that, but what we do actually depends on what we think about. So if we think that something is great, we will do it. If we think that something is not very nice, we won't do it. At least will be, it's not so easy for us to do it. Then under our thoughts, and now starts the problem for all men because women understand this completely. So under our thoughts, we have feelings. We even say, okay, if I feel that something is great, I will think about it great, and then I will do it. If I don't feel it, I won't do it. But under feelings is something deeper, which are emotions. You know what are emotions? It's energy in motion. What kind of energy? Every energy we have in our body. So some kind of electric energy in our brain, chemical emotion, energy, whatever we have in our body. So physiology is in the bottom of what we think and how we behave. This is very important because if we understand that, we can measure some things in our body and then help people.
Okay. So do I understand well? So in terms of emotion, our physiology, everything comes to the habits, our daily habits. And these are the small steps we can do. But at first, which is also very important, let's say it straight. We have to do examinations. We have to do tests. If you are businessmen, most of you are businessmen, and you have a company, you run company, and once a year, you are going to this company and asking your employees some few very easy questions. How are you? It's okay? Do you feel well? Okay, that's good. It's not running business. And you do the same with your health, most of you. Most of our clients coming to us and saying, okay, I'm doing my blood test every year and very, very simple ones. It's not it's not a business of our health. At least we have from blood, we have about 50 some tests from blood to see if you have some health issues or not. More than 50 different tests from blood. And this is first thing I always say we have to do. The cortisol. A lot of information are very wrong understanding about cortisol. Cortisol, of course, is a stress hormone, but cortisol is very good. We love cortisol because cortisol saved our life for years. And cortisol is very important because cortisol wakes us up. We produce more cortisol at least 1 hour before waking up. Why? Because when we sleep, we don't understand what is ongoing around. So when we wake up, we should keep that kind of, shield and be prepared for a day. So as you see, the level of cortisol should be higher in the morning. This is the range of the norm, should be higher in the morning. In the middle of the day, we understand what is ongoing, so it's going down, and it's very, very low before going to sleep. And what is now ongoing? Because we are running all the time, we are still running, and our level of cortisol, level of stress is very, very high. So the level of cortisol is very, very high. And about 40% of our clients have cortisol in here. Somewhere in here, they are waking up with everything in their mind. They are thinking about everything, building new universes. But after years of such producing a lot of cortisol, one day your adrenal glands say, this is enough. We can't work for 300% of the norm. And then your cortisol could be like in here.
And what does it mean? It means that when you wake up, you don't have that shield. You're waking up like that, like a sponge, taking everything from outside. It's not a syndrome of adrenal fatigue syndrome. It's not like that, but I suppose this is the most complex problem now we have with stress. And it's not really the right that our cortisol is very low, but sometimes our adrenal glands are producing a lot of cortisol, and this is killing our system. Sometimes I have a very high cortisol, sometimes I have a very low cortisol. And people like that, we have about 60% of our clients, this is the problem for them, to understand what can we do to achieve better producing of cortisol.
Robert, I have a question. You are using the wording clients, not patients. Why?
Okay.
And do we talk about conventional medicine? You mentioned, so first question, clients versus patients. Secondly, you represent longevity. For me, longevity, as I started to learn more about it, it's more about the movement based on the data, based on the real healthcare. Is it true? And how we can address it, because you see a lot of leaders at the audience. So we can read a lot, we can check the data, but how we can cooperate with such a movements, healthcare movements like longevity, to take care of our own health, but also our leaders.
Okay, so yes, of course, I'm surgeon, I'm urologist, andrologist, and did a very big operations and surgery for more than 20 years. And after that, I start traveling all around the world saying, okay, this is not the medicine I want to do. And after many years, came back to Poland and just know the new wave of medicine called longevity. And longevity is not about living longer, but mostly living healthier, better. If you live, because of that, if you live longer, that's good, but it's not the goal. The goal is to live better. So what we have clients, people who are healthy and want to stay healthy. So this is the new wave, and it's getting serious because more and more money are going into longevity. We know that we will be older, we will live longer, and we want to live better for years. This is longevity, very interesting. Please read about this. So I'm longevitian, and what we do in here, we are gathering a lot of data about our clients and using biological ages. We know your chronological age, but we are counting your biological ages. And by biological ages, we can say, okay, you are on a very good healthy level, and let's stay on that level every year doing small tests. This is absolutely enough. So this is longevity, longer but healthier life. And this is the new wave, and longevity consists of three main pillars. One is physical health, which is obvious, but also psychological health and mental health, which is also emotional health, which is also very important. And what we do in longevity, we are using a lot of tests, of course, but also we are using a lot of wearables to change our habits. I always say that when, as a sad doctor sitting in my office, I can speak with clients or patients, I can speak like it's like a iceberg. I'm talking to 10% of conscious. So if I don't convince them conscious, it's nothing. But what I should speak to is this 90% of subconscious. And speaking to subconscious is using very small steps every day, so changing habits. And I will show you how we can change habits to improve your health and to lower the level of stress.
This is something interesting for me. A few days ago, Robert put on my chest.
I convince you.
You convinced me to do it, just to be more authentic and not just ask questions. Mental health for me is a business currency. It's part of my DNA in my private but also professional life. We do not have too much time on it, and I decided really listen carefully and also share your experience. So you convinced me to go through the medical examination. It's a
no pain.
No pain. It's a first beat. This is
the heart rate variability.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I will not show the picture, but if somebody is interested in, I will show afterwards. So I had two electrodes.
Yeah.
Electrodes.
And a wire between them.
And the wire, and there was a special application. I asked not to have a full view to it because I would pretend that I can exercise, I can eat healthier, I can sleep, because I'm type of perfectionist. So I would cheat probably, maybe not on purpose, but a bit. So when I check the report, which I got today, I'm a little bit...
It's not so bad.
It is. It is.
You are still alive.
It is. And when I started to think, even as I would say, I'm not a fan of medicine. I do not know a lot, but I'm kind of intelligent person. So I started to count how the result can influence my mental health and how I operate as a mother, as a professionalist, as a human being. So if I start to think about sick care, I'm a healthy person today. But if I start to think about healthcare, what will happen in the future, I'm a little bit surprised and a little bit dedicated to fear, which I hate, which I try to lose. So thanks for that exercise. I think that we will spend some time afterwards, not just because of this purpose of this meeting. I need to understand. I see my habits based on the exercise. Now I would love to understand how I can influence. I don't believe I will transform 100%, but which kind of small steps? I do believe you explained me already that small steps are the most important, but how to stay consequent, how to really dedicate ourselves to those small steps, which have tremendous influence on our mental health.
Yep. I will show you because I prepared some slides about that. Can I stand up? It will be much.
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I will show you. This is one of wearables we use. Very easy to use, as you heard before. This is heart rate variability. So when we are relaxed, our heart is beating a little bit slower. When we are in a stress, it beats a little bit quicker. This is small changes, but very, very important. And look what we know about that. We are doing this for 3 to 5 days. It is absolutely enough. This is the first our client. Look at this. This guy used to run about
It's not my result.
No,
my result is full red.
Yeah, it's not so bad. Okay, so this is, as you see, red is stress, blue is physical activity, and green is relax. So as you see, this guy is used to running 5 kilometers about midday, which is very, very well for him. After that, he's got, massages, sauna, so he took it off. But he's really, really very important for him is sleep about 8 hours. Very good. But because of sarcopenia, I don't know if you know, but we are losing muscle mass 1 to 2% every year. This is sarcopenia. And this guy started losing muscle mass. We said, okay, we have to give you some weight exercises. And this is the next day of him. So again, running 5 kilometers, very, very nice for him. Little bit stress, but look at here. He started 30 minutes of weight training. And we know that this night was not good. Why? Because maybe this was not that training or maybe not that time of the day. So what we can do, we can influence kind of sport he's doing. Another client in here, running, very nice. A lot of stresses sometimes, but night was very good. This is one of the few of them we have. Another one, a lot of stress during the day. And
This mine?
No, this is not yours. Okay, so a lot of stress during the day, and it sounds familiar. You know a lot of guys that are coming back home about 7, 8 p.m. and start running these 5, 6 kilometers to calm down the head. And look what is going in here. So the stress after that is even better and even higher than during the day. So he's not relaxing. He hasn't got this REM time in the night when the muscles are relaxing, that deep sleep when the brain is relaxing. So it's better not to run for this guy before the sleep time. Another one, this is very interesting, the best one. Okay, so a lot of small stressing during the day, one bigger, but coming back and drinking 2, maybe 3 glasses of wine, red wine, very, very healthy. Look what happens. So wine before bed is not a good idea for everybody, please remember. Another one, a lot of stresses, but this guy has some methods to calm down, and sleep could be like that. So it is possible. Another one, this is actually me. So from that, I know that I love my work. Then I left my work. This is a call from my wife, the short one, and then again, relax. So sometimes we see things like that. So this realized me how is, important my wife to me. So. And this is very interesting. This is a guy, 70, now 2 years old, who is the owner of very, very big company, international company from Poland. And also he's a teacher, and he flies all over the world, 72 years old. And he started like a red block in here. And he said, okay, now I'm 72, I have to take care of myself. This is why longevity doesn't have any year and an age. So he started every month coming to us and trying this one for 3 days, this device, and changing small changes, like maybe another sport, maybe another diet, maybe another time of diet, maybe I have to change my friends. And he changed some friends, and in the end, after 6 months, look at this. He's still working a lot, he's still flying a lot, but now he's doing it with this knowledge, how to do things. So as you see, with small steps, we can improve our life. Sport activity, diet, whatever we do, we can change it with small steps. Longevity is a project for whole life, so small steps, big impact. Thank you.
It's a beautiful summary, I would say, and the time is clicking, so 10 last seconds. What I see and what is my experience with this exercise, with you, with results you are sharing with us, it's all about the stress and recovery balance.
Yes, of course. This is
It's so obvious, it's so easy, but we are forgetting every single day about it. So small steps we can take and really control the stress and recovery.
It's important to see it, because if I want to convince somebody saying, okay, lower your stress, it doesn't work. What works really is to convince people by measuring it. It's very easy to do, but gives a lot of information.
Super, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.